Hello and welcome to my critical reflection with Curtis and Ryan on the mic. Michael's on the side, not that mic. Let's go, Ryan, with the first question.
Where did it all start?
Ooh, well, the dinosaurs. Next. No, where did it all start? Well, it's a Halloween show, obviously. So for Halloween, we'd have to go back to after that brief intermission. Where did it all start? Well, really, it all started when.
Guys can't make a joke about a dinosaur.
What's the joke about a dinosaur?
Right, in any film, I can spot whether they use a real dinosaur or a fake dinosaur.
Well, can't everyone realise that?
Shut up.
How many dinosaur films are there? There's Jurassic
Jurassic
Park,
Park,
Jurassic Park
World.
2, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic
There's the one
4.
where...
Land Before Time, they're all faking that because it's animated. Right, anyway, I'm not getting on
Is
it.
that-
Good dinosaur, good dinosaur, good dinosaur.
They're all animated,
Wait,
it's an animated
Which is
movie.
the one where they all just die at the end?
Hitler.
That's just dinosaurs. Right,
No!
where did it all start? It all started when Daniela was like, yo fam, to Laurie May, should we just like, do something cray-cray? And Laurie May was like, yes, I quite believe we should do something cray-cray. And Daniela was like, yes fam, we should do American Horror Story lad. Like, yes. Laurie May's like, yes, I do declare we should. So, got that.
Oh,
So that's where it all started. And then she came up to me. Then Laurie May came up to me and she was like, you should audition. I had no idea who to audition for, basically. I came up with a character who was blind and had like 4 fingers. It was stupid. So I didn't want to do that. So Laurie May was like, you should audition for Dandy. I was like, who's Dandy? She's like, watch the show, you'll see. So I watched the show. I was like, Dandy's a pretty cool guy.
Right. Oh, what were that spell check, mate? What is that? What were your ideas?
What were your ideas?
What were your ideas slash intentions? Let me finish.
My idea.
Full stop.
My
No
idea.
one pronounces a full
My
stop.
ideas for Dandy were to make him. It was kind of reminiscent of American Psycho, where Patrick Bateman, Patrick Swayze, John Travolta, all of those lads. So it was like just an inspiration from that mainly. Those Ghost, is that the Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
Invisible Man, is that Ghost or Invisible Man?
Invisible Man is isn't that Michael? No.
Yeah, it's Michael Bay as Invisible Man when he just disappears and doesn't direct
No,
any
it's
of
Kevin
this.
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon,
Invisible Man.
I thought it was Kevin Eggs.
Kevin Hart. Right, so if you eat too much Kevin Bacon, you might have a Kevin Heart attack. Yeah. So, anyway,
Just stop.
where was I?
This
My ideas and intentions for Dandy were to just make him kind of similar to, like, where if you first look at him, you'd be like, oh, he looks dapper, you know, he looks like a fanciful gentleman. And really, I think I nailed that with my costume and my demeanour as Dandy. You know, a demeanour. So, I think I got that down to a science, really.
My man. What research did you use? Did you read any books, my madam?
Yeah, Harry Potter. What research? So obviously the show inspiration, American Psycho or Psycho. Which one did I say? Both of them really, but
American Psycho is a movie, not a show.
yeah, no, I'm talking about Freak Show.
Oh.
So Freak Show was obviously my main inspiration for Dandy, being the characters from there. Books,
You didn't.
I think American Psycho was a book first,
Yeah,
right?
it was a book.
I read that, so
Okay.
long time ago. I don't remember it. Ryan, stop picking your nose and ask me the next question. Call that.
What artists slash designers slash practitioners did you gain inspiration from and why, might sir?
Mainly Kanye. No. So artists kind of mostly like artists who dress like fashion artists more than anything. Like the way they dress, because Dandy's a very fanciful man. Dandy's he cares a lot about my version of Dandy cares a lot about fashion, right? So I want it to be forward thinking. So like, you know, but also I had to keep in mind that it was back then in the 1920s. So I kind of looked at some of the fashion from back then, which inspired me. Like I wore a bow tie, which I wouldn't do today for obvious reasons because those aren't cool.
Anyway,
And anyway, so designers, that's what I'm talking about. Design practitioners, who's in like naturalistic.
Steiner's Lasky.
Yeah, him was my main one, I think. It was like I said, mostly a lot of movies about. Because originally I did want Dandy to be a serial killer like he is in the show, but that never really panned out. So he was just kind of like a strong, charismatic force that occasionally went on tantrums. Michael's just using his shake weight over there. So really, I gained inspiration from a lot of places and kind of just rolled them all up into one big ball of Dandy, which is a good name for a band. Ryan.
Text him birds, mate.
Right, I'll do it.
I'm joking. How effective was your research in terms of depth, relevance, and variety?
Morty.
Oh, what's this behind your ear? Whoa! Oh my God, that's coming.
That's amazing. Show me how you did that.
I'll tell you after.
How effective was your research in terms of depth, and variety? So, depth. I really got into my research for the character. Like, obviously, I watched the show as a base, and then I kind of wrote down what personality I wanted from my character, what motivations the character had. So I think that was very effective in the aftermath. I think it really helped me get into character and overall just worked in my favour. So the research definitely worked. As far as variety, like I said about the sources of inspiration I had, I pull from a variety of them. I'm just like 1, 2, 3 other numbers. Right.
Anyway, my dear darlings,
Describe
the part of your research that became the most relevant and why. Can you explain? Maybe we'll see after the short break.
Welcome back. So, the part of my research that I think became the most relevant was just kind of like researching my own thoughts about Dandy's character, like just getting them onto paper, like about his, like I said, writing about his personality and motivation. I think that helped the most out of everything because it just kind of got me into the mindset of being Dandy. It's like switching, like when performing Dandy, I'm never Curtis, I'm Dandy. You know what I'm saying? Next question. Napoleon.
How did your tutors, so Laurie May and
Who's-
Daniela,
Tutors.
and peers, so your friends,
Who's your? I don't got.
provide influence to your early ideas?
I haven't got no friends, but the ones I do have provided influence in the fact that obviously, like I said, I wouldn't have even auditioned for Dandy if Laurie May didn't. I'm not a stripper. If Laurie May didn't actually suggest the role to me, and then after I got it, really, I think my peers helped a lot. Like
Morgan.
Morgan.
It's Morgan.
What is he talking about? So that must have looked hella weird. So where was I? Yeah, I think the ones that helped me the most in terms of my character, even just discussing them kind of outside of lessons, Jordan Lunam helped me when I was discussing it with him because he felt the character should be more childish, and I disagreed. Although I did add some childish elements to the character, but mainly he was less childish than the one in the show, and I think that works better for the character better. But then again, what do I know? I don't write for TV yet. Catch my new show, Daredevil, season 5, coming to a cinema near you.
This is a lie.
Your whole CV was a
Sure.
lie. Right. Yeah, so Jordan, for example, provided me with that influence. And then even just like Elliot, the way he, because I worked closely with Elliot, obviously, and I think his influence on my character and my influence on his character worked very well on each other, and we kind of just, I think creatively, we just together, both of us were a great duo creatively. So, and we both influenced each other's ideas pretty much, like in a creative. Can you not a creative manner?
How was it?
And it really added to the. It really added to the performance. I think the whole show got better when me and Elliot were
Got chemistry.
because of our
chemistry.
I said chemistry.
Chemistry.
Because of our chemistry,
Biology.
I think the show
Physics.
was improved. And then also me and Madison and I were, because of how our characters were kind of juxtapositioned. That's right. Thank you, dictionary man. Because of that, I think we kind of helped each other build our characters. Like I would suggest. What did you just eat? I would suggest to Madison ideas for her. She would suggest ideas for mine. We'd just bounce off one another.
Like a
Ryan.
trampoline.
Right. Right next. Ew. Who's Madison?
Did your planning cover all eventualities?
I know what an eventuality.
I'm just making sure you know, because you're a bit in there.
Well, that's
You're a bit of a freak.
Did you have a contingency plan?
yeah. Well, so in case someone dropped out or something, for example, which Alex Wilson did drop out, and I'll tell you who my contingency plan was. I'm gonna bring him on right now to the show. It was Mikey Boy, and Mike killed it.
Sex slave.
You know, and they wanted to put you, Daniela, wanted to put Damien as the replacement for Alex, which makes I don't understand why you did that. I was saying Michael from day one, Michael or Ryan, my boys, and you picked. You picked the right one. So thank you, Mike. You did a good job. So he was my contingency plan for that, in case if for example someone forgot their lines or I forgot my lines, wouldn't happen. But if someone else forgot their lines, I had practiced improvising as Dandy so much from the workshops that I could just kind of improvise as him on spot really easily. So that was a contingency plan for that.
You had a problem with leaving it late to finish off your show.
Sorry?
Finishing off your show, you left late, which was a problem. You finished off your show like the day before.
Yeah. It's not really my fault though, it's just everyone else's. So, I really think, we could have worked better in the devising our own scenes and just kind of in the directing scenes of when the tutors were directing. We could have listened more. Well, not me, but everyone else who didn't listen could have listened more. I don't do nothing wrong, right? They could have listened more. We would have got, like, for example, there's some scenes, but sometimes we worked really well and we got a lot of stuff done in one day. Other days we would have, oh, that's gross. We would have, we would spend an hour on a scene that could take like 20 minutes. Like, what the level 2s took to do, like, in 20 minutes, which is ridiculous, because the level below us should not be doing anything quicker than us. So, yeah.
But come on.
That kind of annoyed me that was happening, because it's like, I actually really liked the show and I cared about it, but some people just didn't. So, next.
Anyway, did you manage to complete your project objective? If you did, could you have gone further with the idea? If you didn't, what went wrong for you and your peeps? Find out next time.
Well, I think we did complete our objective, because that was to put on a show, and we did put on a show, and it wasn't terrible.
Goku.
It wasn't the best show of all time, obviously, but I think it was decent. Like, if I probably like 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. So it's on the Batman v Superman shit. So I think it was decent. You know, like it could have obviously been a lot better, but I don't know how I personally could have improved it. Like I think I did really good in my own role. Not to toot my own horn, but
Listening at you, no.
like I think
Batman.
I think I did pretty good in my role, right? So I don't know what, and I helped everyone else with theirs, and I don't really know how else I could have improved it. You know, it's just, you know, like Daniela always says. Shouts to Daniela. If you're only as strong
As your weakest.
as your weakest link, thank you. So
I am
What's
the
that
weakest
from?
link.
So-
Goodbye.
you know, if one of us is not focusing, right? Here's the link. One of us is not focusing. It's just gonna go. So
Does it rain?
making it rain. So, you know, like, I just don't know. I don't know. It just bugs me how people don't care but are on the course for some reason, even though they clearly don't care.
Also,
But before I get on a rant about that, we'll go.
as the great Chinese strategist Zhuge Liang once said, one straw hay is weaker than 1,000. So
Facts, right?
1,000 is like armor.
How did your ideas change? What influenced you to change, or did they not change?
That's not an option.
But they might have not changed.
Well, my ideas, obviously some ideas are going to end up changing during a production process. My idea, obviously one idea that changed was the character I was going to go for. For example, the blind guy with like 4 fingers or whatever. I changed that because it was bad. It was a bad character. There was no point to him at all, and I just didn't really know what to do. So I changed to Dandy, which I think improved. Another idea that changed very late into the process was we were going to say that Dandy was the child of Twisty and Helga, yeah, and I thought that was really stupid.
Wait, what was?
Twisty and Helga being Dandy's dad.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was stupid, so I wanted Twisty to kill Helga and Dandy and then take over the show. And I think that was a much better ending. I don't know what you guys think.
That was better.
I think the best ending would have been if you had invasion
Body snatchers.
Body snatchers.
Right, okay.
Come in.
But is that a good second though?
Yeah, it's a good
Okay,
second.
so I think that really improved the show a lot more. That ending, way better than whatever twist ending we came up with. So yeah, changes for the best. Keep your head
Anyway.
up, keep your shoulders up, keep your whole body up. Don't fall over.
Changes.
Was there any technical issues or?
Logistical.
Yeah, like-
Technical. Not really. During the show, there wasn't.
Well, your bow tie, not.
Oh well, my bow tie didn't stay on sometimes, but we tied it the correct way for the show, so it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But really, like, the lighting was pretty good throughout. Shouts to Smithy, Alex Smith. He did a good job on that. Tecton, obviously. You know, I think they really did a good job on the lighting for this, because there wasn't really any lighting. It was even on the other one there wasn't any. So
Well, there was. It
Was
just
it?
wasn't massive
Ah.
changes.
oh.
So there weren't any.
Well, I didn't notice any of yours, so they did good covering up at least anyway. Whatever they did. So really, technical issues, not that many for us, which is pretty good because usually there's a few.
Did you have enough time to design / make any props costume on set?
So we had a really good prop maker in Connor Thompson, luckily, and he made a great mask for Elliot and that. I didn't. Everything, my props and costumes, I got by myself, so I bought them at like charity shops and stuff.
Poor.
Not poor.
Joking.
Well, I am poor, but that's not why I bought them. Anyway, so, yeah. So, yeah, we definitely had enough time to set it up. The only, oh wait, sorry, a technical issue to go back, I forgot, was the cage. We didn't end up, we wanted to use streamers for the cage, like to represent there being a cage there, but they weren't, when you pull them like a curtain, they weren't closing, so we didn't use them. So we had to pretend like there was a stage there, and miming is never a good idea. So, but that couldn't really do anything else, so we had to.
I think miming's a good idea because watch this, right? You get in the box, right? In the box.
Right, so that's why miming's not a good idea. So, you know, that was a technical issue, and that was actually a really big issue, but I passed my mind. But no, yeah, we had more than enough time to design costumes and props and stuff, and anyone who says we didn't is a liar, frankly.
Wait, from this point on.
We're actually on the start to make our props. So.
From this point on, I like sound effects.
It's lit. So,
Discuss. Right, I read it. Discuss the outcome in terms of effectiveness, technical qualities, that word, fitness for purpose, and communicate. Yeah. Great.
So, its effectiveness, I think it was very effective in what we were trying to produce, which was a good story. The only thing that could have been improved in the effectiveness was the second half, which was the actual freak show, and that was just...
That's great.
The freak show wasn't that great, because it feels like we put not way too much, but we put more effort into the first half than the second half, and it showed. Really showed. Technical qualities, like I said, very good, except for that bit with the streamers not working. But other than that, great technical qualities. Aesthetic, I think the aesthetic was really good, like making it a circus tent. Like, I didn't know if they were going to pull that off.
It's like a band-aid.
But they really pulled it off. So, you know, it looked really good. I think maybe they could have done a bit better on that. Maybe add some more. Maybe add like a tent thing going over. But I understand it would be hard for them to do. I feel like if they put their mind to it, though, they might have been able to do it.
Okay.
Fitness for purpose. Same as effectiveness, really. Fitness. It was fit for purpose. Fitty. Communication. I feel like it communicated what we were trying to say, which was tell a story while discussing how freaks were treated back in the 1920s, and I think worked. Does it meet?
Did it meet the criteria you set for yourself?
Definitely reached the criteria I set for myself because my bar is low. No, but I think my bar is pretty high for what I accept, you know, what, like, for example, Murder in the Old Library, which we did. After I did that, I felt legitimately sick, and it wasn't my fault the performance was bad, but I still felt...
I think you're being really big-headed here, my friend.
I still felt... Jordan. I still felt sick, like, physically sick after it, because I was like, why was I a part of that, you know, like... I was terrible. I hated being a part of that. But for this, I liked being a part of it, you know. Gave me a chance to meet some of the new people, like Elliot and stuff, so, and it helped me get into the role of kind of helping the younger...
Yeah, it did.
The younger students just... Don't know why I said it like that. Help them to become better actors. So it definitely meets the criteria I set for myself because I think I improved because of it in terms of my acting style because I'm more used to doing comedic stuff, but I want to move into more dramatic acting. So
wait, you're funny.
Thou dost protest too much.
Right. How did you respond to the feedback you received, whether it was positive or negative?
Why did you turn down the scout?
So, feedback I received, most of it, a lot of it was positive. Like, there was a point where Laurie May just stopped giving me feedback because she was sick of going, yeah, that was good. So, I had to kind of make myself better, like, improve myself. So, I looked at some self-help books. No, I do it. I just kind of...
That was a joke.
You see, I am funny, right? So I...
Self-help books.
Shut
Help
up! Get out of the frame! So I...
Oh, yeah!
Because it's written by someone else, so it's just...
Right, shut up! Right. So, I'm nearly done, right? So, Where was I now? What am I even talking
You're
about?
Michael's house and you're talking about your critical
Right, my
reception.
feedback that I got was a lot. It was a lot positive. I did get a few. Can you turn my phone off? I did get a few. I'll just pick it up and talk to my mum. Okay. So
Can I talk to Deborah?
actually, pass it to me. I'll talk to her.
Oh,
She hung up? Right. Okay. She picks up. Right. What was I?
I think she knew I was on the phone.
So feedback overall, I responded to it by improving myself, even though the feedback I was getting wasn't necessarily very helpful all the time. Marion.
Oh, right, I thought he was looking at Michael.
No.
Does the final piece communicate the concept or the idea you had intended?
That's the exact same question as the one
So, I
before.
thought you
Yeah,
just
it
said
communicates the concept. Well, I've already said that. It's the same question.
How committed were you to getting strong results?
I was very committed to my results. I wanted to make a good show, especially when I'm the lead of the show. You know, there's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders.
Wait, you was in the show?
Yeah, I was the lead.
No,
So
you
there's a
wasn't.
lot of responsibility on my shoulders to be. So
I'll take him off here.
to make sure it was, now that we're off here, to make sure it was a good performance. Nice gust of wind there. So
That's not wind you're feeling.
don't know what that means. So
I don't know.
I was very committed to getting strong results. I really wanted to put on a good show, and I think I reached my goal. I didn't put on a perfect show, but I'm never gonna put on a perfect show. But I think
Oh, is it still there?
I performed.
Is it off?
Shh. I think I performed the best I could, and helped people the best I could, and I tried my best. And I think we made a good show. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a fantastic show, but instead we just made a good show. So I'm not upset with it.
How did you use your increasing knowledge base to help move forward your ideas and predict new areas for future exploitation?
Exploration. Excuse me.
Hello. Hello?